Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we are in the main bay right now, but we'll be heading over to the third bay real quick and starting to work on the Corvette again. As you guys have seen in the previous videos, we had a bit of a overheating problem driving home on a 67-degree rainy day with the Corvette trying to overheat in traffic. As soon as I turned on my Casper switch and the fans kicked on, it brought the temperatures right back down to like about 200 degrees. So I think it's normal operating temperature. So after those temps came right back down, you know, we kind of narrowed down what we thought the problem was. We thought that was aerodynamics and ducting. As you guys saw in the video from last week, I'll have a link up above. We took care of capping off the radiator by adding that Cord's Performance radiator shroud. And in today's video, we're actually taking care of the bottom ducting, and that's actually forcing air to go through the bumper opening into the radiator stack and up. And how we're going to take care of that is with two things, both in my hand. We got some cardboard and we got some black ABS plastic. You guys will see, well, this is already cut out. That's because I've actually already done one side. I went ahead and did the driver's side because that was going to be the most difficult part of the two sides. And that probably took at least about 3 hours. And most of that was just taking a piece of cardboard, cutting it, adding it. You guys can see I added some cardboard to the bottom with that blue tape. Cutting it, bending it, and basically getting it to where we wanted it so that we could have a template and actually to cut out this black ABS plastic. And what this black ABS plastic is, it's simply 16th inch thick black ABS plastic. You can heat it and bend it. You guys can see our heat guns down there. And so we will have to take a new sheet of this, bend it to the shape that we need. So basically with this combination of cardboard and plastic, we're going to take that huge opening that we have on the bottom of our bumper, force the air to go through that and up into the radiator stack. So hopefully this will help resolve our cooling problem. And so here's that big opening that we were just talking about. As you guys can see on the passenger side, we do have our black ABS plastic in here. And the one piece is bent at 45 degrees. You guys can see some hardware bolting that to another piece. And that piece behind it is actually bent at a 45. And it ties into the factory OEM C6 Z ducting. So that's that black vertical piece that you guys can see. This piece right here, we're actually going to tie into that and use this to base our cooling package off of. So basically we take a big black sheet of plastic, come this way, bend it. That bend is going to force the air to go in instead of just going around it, to go in, kind of like we have over here. And as you guys can see, this is actually going from the very top of the bumper opening all the way to the bottom where our bottom splash shield or bottom shield or whatever you want to call that. So literally all the air coming in from the top part of the bumper or the bottom part will be driven, you know, into this direction and up into the cooling stack. And as you guys can see, this is our heat exchanger for the supercharger up front, then our air condenser, then our radiator. So let's go ahead. Well, I'm actually going to try to utilize the pieces that we used for the passenger side on the driver's side. And if this fits, we'll already have our shapes that we need. And we'll go ahead and get this mocked up. Alright guys, we do have our same piece that we used on the passenger side over on the driver's side. But as you guys can see, there is some interference from the ducting, that's the part of the C6 Z06, as well as the intercooler. So what I need to do is actually cut around and trim. There's a gap up here, so I need to kind of make a hole for that. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to get this piece of plastic flat up against the top of this bumper. So we're gonna have to cut a little bit of a hole there. And I think we're also gonna have to cut around the coolant right here, this coolant hose that we have going into the supercharger heat exchanger. I think we're gonna have to cut around that as well. But let's go ahead, trim the top, and once we get this main piece in there, we can continue with our prototyping. All right guys, I've only spent about maybe 15 minutes updating this prototype that we had from the passenger side. All I did was cut out a square for the coolant hose on the bottom. Then up here there's, you know, where the plastic shrouding from the GM piece that's coming down, and right down here where kind of the splitter starts. So this will actually be completely flat like I was saying on the other side. So this entire section that you guys are seeing, you won't be able to see because there's a flat plate that we have blocking this off. So you guys can see the air will come in through the grill, you know, around this 45-degree bend or so, and then into the cooling stack. And that's going to be blocked off from the top all the way to the bottom. So literally, the air isn't going to have anywhere else to go. Now, you guys will see a gap right there I did make this a two-piece on the other side. I plan on doing the same on this side. We're basically going to have a piece going from the end of this to the back of the grill. There might be a little bit of a grill opening up here, kind of like we have right here. I might have that. I'm going to try to replicate that on. I'm going to try to replicate that on this passenger side as well, just so that it kind of is uniform. And we'll go from there. So we basically have the driver's side completely mocked up. You guys can see any air that hits this part right here will get forced into this main channel. The main channel will then go in toward the heat exchanger. And here's another view. Obviously this isn't attached. And guys, I do need to make this two-piece. I did want to clarify that. I can't make this one piece because unfortunately this space is just too tight to try to get this complex of a bend in here all in one spot. I tried it over here on the passenger side. That didn't work. So two-piece is fine. I'll just have some 7mm bolts holding everything together. So yeah, that's your basic mock-up of this ducting over here on the driver's side. Now, I do need to fudge the bottom a little bit because right now the cardboard is actually sticking down below from where that plate will be. You guys will see I've got a line here, and I think I cut this piece a little bit short. So basically what we're trying to do is make this line straight, but like I said, this kind of hangs down too far, and this lower grill part runs into that. So we need to cut this a little bit more straight, and we should be good to go. So let me trim this out one more time, and I think we'll be ready to move over to the plastic. All right, guys, so we got our 12" by 2 foot, so I think it's 12 by 24 section of ABS plastic. One side of it is this smooth plastic. The other side is your textured ABS side. Now guys, this is gonna sound real stupid, but make sure you guys cut it the direction you want facing up. So yesterday, as you guys can see, I've got some scrap material over here. I accidentally cut one of these one direction and I cut the other one the other direction. So for this time, I put bottom and bottom on both. So if I cut it out like this, all right, and we fold it upwards like this, and we cut bottom facing up as well, you know, the smooth side will be on this opposite side. The only thing we really have to be careful now is which side to fold up. So if we cut this out, I will mark the textured side fold up, and that way we fold toward that. And if you guys can see, I actually tried cleaning off one of the sections I cut yesterday. I accidentally put the marks on the smooth side. I just used some acetone, and guys, it actually started breaking down the plastic. You guys can see it has kind of a gummy, not smooth surface anymore. I don't know what it is in the acetone and what's in this plastic, but the two obviously don't mix. So don't use acetone to try to clean off your part. So, but yeah, so let me get this outlined, and then we will cut this out with our bandsaw. As you guys can see, we are cutting out the secondary piece of the ducting. This is actually a previous attempt from the previous day on the passenger side, so we're not going to waste a scrap piece. I'm just going to see if this will work. And now you guys can see we're actually cutting out the main piece. I'm going to have to cut most of it with the bandsaw, but some of it I will have to trim with a knife. Alright guys, we got our basic cut started. I'm actually going to finish the rest of this off with a knife because honestly the depth of my Milwaukee bandsaw only goes like 5 or 6 inches, and I need to cut the rest of this out. So let me cut the rest of this out, and we'll pick this up when we're ready to mock it up in the car. And as you guys can see here, we're using 2 pieces of 4x4 pressure treated wood. We're using that as our bending table. We got some clamps on it, and we're basically heating up both sides of the plastic. Then we're folding it in the proper direction to make sure that this thing's gonna fit. Alright guys, you can see we do have the driver's side ducting. It's in, but it's held in with pressure with, you know, the top, the bottom, the sides. And as you guys can see, we do have this going right into the heat exchanger. And you guys can see the secondary piece here. Like I said earlier, this is a scrap from yesterday. And as you guys can see, it is a little bit short down here on the bottom. I'm actually gonna cut this piece out and make it a little bit longer because like I said, that is short on the bottom, and that's where our hardware is gonna have to go. As you guys can see, there's one over here on the passenger side. So we're gonna have to use that for a clip, and if it's short, that's not gonna reach. So, but yeah, so as you guys can see, the duct goes from very top of the bumper all the way to the bottom, and like I said, where my hand is down here, there will be a blackout tray like that piece right there. And yeah, so all the air will go, you know, through the bottom part of the bumper, through the top part of the bumper, hit these ducts and get driven into the radiator. All right, so for connecting the two pieces, you can see we just have these 7mm screws, and we have these, I think you basically call them fender U-bolts or U-nuts, J-nuts, something like that. I've seen them called multiple things. Basically, I got 3 on that, and that's connecting your two pieces. You guys will see there's 2 holes here. What we're gonna do, we'll use the factory push pin, and that push pin will connect into the factory C6 Z06 mounting. So that's how we're gonna take care of our mounting and securing of this plate. All right, guys, to finally wrap this up, I did want to show you the plate that's on the bottom. So as you guys can see, the air will come in here, it'll hit this bottom plate and then go rushed up into the radiator. Same thing on the sides. The air will come in through here, either hit the bottom or the side, and get rammed into the cooling package. And same thing on the passenger side. That's pretty much gonna be a wrap on our custom ducting using our C6 as a base, our C7 bumper, and then basically kind of just connecting the two. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for today's video, and hopefully the end of these ducting videos. We still got plenty more to come. Like I said, we've got parts for weeks. So we'll be working on this Corvette for the immediate future, and eventually we'll get back on the road and start driving it. Now, I do want to clarify one thing. I do have a clear-ball appointment in about 3 weeks to get the front of this car wrapped. The hood is wrapped, the fenders are wrapped, but this new bumper is not wrapped. So we're going to get that wrapped. And I already told the guy it's a custom bumper, and they were totally fine with that. So we're going to drop this off in a couple weeks, and we'll probably do another video for that. But yeah, so basically, I'm basically trying not to drive the car until I get the front end protected. Then we'll drive it all we want. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you guys want to see all those Corvette updates I was talking about, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out the links down below. I'll have some for the clips that we used, the hardware, as well as that ABS plastic. I did get all of that on Amazon actually, so we'll drop you some links for that. And yeah, also make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. Thanks guys. Have a great one.